I've never told this story publicly before, not because it's exaggerated, but because every detail is real enough that I still hesitate to say it out loud. This happened when I was 26. At the time, I worked as a night delivery contractor. It paid more than daytime routes, and honestly, I liked the emptiness of the roads. No traffic, no people, just the hum of tires and the radio keeping me awake. That night, my final delivery took me far outside the city, deep into a stretch of highway most people avoid after dark. It was one of those roads that feels unfinished, like someone built it and then forgot why. No streetlights, no houses, just trees and long, open darkness. I remember checking the time, 2:41 a.m. I was tired, hungry, and thinking about getting home when I saw something in my headlights. A car pulled over on the shoulder, hazard lights blinking. At first, I slowed down instinctively, then almost sped past it. Every survival instinct told me not to stop. But as I passed, I saw movement. A person standing beside the car. They were waving. I checked my mirrors. No other cars behind me. No cars ahead. I drove another 50 meters, then stopped. To this day, I don't know why I did. I told myself it was just someone stranded. Maybe their phone died. Maybe they needed help. I turned on my hazards and reversed slowly. When I pulled up, I saw him clearly. A man, late 30s, maybe early 40s, average build, clean clothes, no blood, no visible injuries. He smiled when I stepped out of my car. And that smile, it was calm, too calm. "Hey," he said, "thanks for stopping." His voice didn't shake, didn't sound panicked, didn't sound relieved. That should have been my first warning. He said his car had just shut off. No lights, no engine sound. He'd already tried starting it. I asked if he wanted me to call roadside assistance. He shook his head. No signal out here. I already checked. I pulled out my phone. 0 bars. He looked at my car. "You heading toward the city?" I nodded. "My place is about 10 minutes that way. If you don't mind, could you give me a ride? I'll figure the car out in the morning." I hesitated. Everything in my body said don't. But he looked normal, spoke normally, and I didn't want to be the person who left someone stranded in the middle of nowhere. So I agreed. He got into the passenger seat. The moment he closed the door, the atmosphere changed. Not dramatically, just subtly. The air felt heavier. I started driving. We went maybe a minute without speaking. Then he asked where I worked. I told him. He nodded, like he already knew. He asked if I drove this road often. I said sometimes. "Ever stop for people before?" he asked. I laughed nervously. "No, first time." He smiled again. "That's good." I asked him what he meant. He looked out the window. Nothing. Another minute passed. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. "You know," he said casually, "most people don't stop." I nodded. "Yeah, I almost didn't." He turned toward me slowly. "They're smarter than you." My hands tightened on the steering wheel. I laughed again, forcing it. "Guess I got lucky tonight." He didn't laugh. "No," he said. I did. I told myself I was overreacting, that maybe his humor was just dry. But then, I noticed something. We'd been driving for at least 7 minutes. There were no houses, no driveways, no side roads, just trees. I slowed down. "I thought you said your place was about 10 minutes away." He nodded. "It is." I looked at the GPS. The map was blank. No road names, no markers. I felt cold. Then he said something that made my blood turn to ice. "You passed it." I slammed the brakes instinctively. The car skidded slightly. "Past what?" I asked. He pointed behind us. The turn. I looked. There was nothing. Just darkness. "No, there wasn't," I started. He leaned closer. "Yes, there was." I told him I didn't feel comfortable turning around there. That's when his tone changed. Not angry, not threatening, just firm. "You're already here," he said. "You might as well finish." I told him to get out of the car. Silence. Then he laughed. A quiet laugh, like he found something amusing. "Relax," he said. "If I wanted to hurt you, you wouldn't have stopped." That sentence didn't comfort me. It terrified me. I reached for my phone again. Still no signal. Then I noticed his hands. They were resting on his lap, and they were shaking. Not from fear, from excitement. I don't know how I knew that, but I did. I pulled the car back onto the road and sped up. "I'm taking you to the nearest town," I said. "You can walk from there." He stared at me, then said something I will never forget. "There is no town." I glanced at him. His smile was gone. "People come through here," he continued, voice calm. "But they don't stay long. Some help, some don't. Some make it home." I swallowed. "And the others?" I asked. He didn't answer. Then headlights appeared ahead. Another car. I have never felt relief like that in my life. As the car got closer, he suddenly leaned back. "Slow down," he said. I ignored him. The car passed us, just a normal sedan, driver staring straight ahead. The moment it passed, the man beside me sighed. "Shame," he muttered. That was it. I swerved hard and slammed on the brakes. "Get out," I shouted. He looked at me for a long moment, then opened the door. Before stepping out, he leaned in and said, "You won't stop next time." Then he closed the door and walked into the trees, not toward the broken car, not toward the road, into the forest. I sat there shaking for several minutes before driving away as fast as I could. I didn't look back. I didn't go home. I drove straight to a police station. They took my statement. An officer went to check the location. They found the car. No engine trouble, no mechanical failure, and inside the trunk, they found personal items belonging to at least 3 different people. Phones, wallets, keys, all reported missing over the past 2 years. They never found the man. But here's the part that still keeps me awake. A week later, I got my car detailed. The worker handed me something they found under the passenger seat. A small piece of paper, folded. On it were 5 names. One of them was mine. If you're watching this late at night, and you think you'd stop to help someone on an empty road, think again. Subscribe for real horror stories that stay with you. Like if this made your stomach drop. Comment if you would have stopped or kept driving. And if you have a true story you've never told anyone, you know where to send it.